Cookshilder.
हेलो तिवारी सर।
हाँ हाँ बोलो।
कितने बजे? अभी 5 मिनट और है क्या सर?
हाँ है ना।
जी ठीक है, और वेट कर लेते हैं।
हाँ।
Devahitam yadayuhu. Gods may we with our ears listen to what is good, and with our eyes with what is good, with firm limbs and may we extolling you attain the term of life appointed by the gods. I warmly welcome you. Sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Sanskrit, to introduction to the resource person, respected Dr. Vaibhav Sabni, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to all of you. Dr. Vaibhav J. Sabnis has been working in the Department of English in Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Memorial College of Law, Dhule, Maharashtra, since 1999. He has successfully worked as the coordinator of an NEC and IQAC. He has worked as a visiting faculty, Department of Comparative Literature, KBC, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon. He is the founder president of ELTI, English Language Teachers Association of India, Khandesh chapter. He is a recognized research guide of North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, under whose guidance and supervision 7 PhD scholars, including foreigner, have been awarded PhD with a publication and presentation of over 60 research papers at national and international levels. He has had the honor of being the chairperson, chief guest, resource person, and keynote speaker during various academic events at national and international levels. He has published books with ISBN as an editor. First, Indian Literature in English, Some Reflections. Second, ELT, Innovative Methods and Techniques. And third, Manus, Mati आणि Nati, the collection of poems in English entitled O Love, O Life, has also been published. He has completed the UGC funded MRP on legal language. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Then I invite to our resource person, Dr. Vaibhav Sabni, sir, to deliver the speech in topic ICT enabled teaching, learning, and evaluation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Patel. I am thankful to Dr. Rajiv Tiwari, sir, Principal Dr. Pandey, madam, all the dear participants. I am really part of this faculty development program organized by this wonderful college, which is inhabited by very wonderful people, intelligent, techno-savvy, most importantly. And the theme that has been chosen is really important today, considering the pandemic situation. In some states, the post-pandemic, we may say, for example, our district in Maharashtra, Dhule district, is COVID-free district. And it has been acknowledged by many newspapers and media also. So COVID situation and post-COVID situation. And then when we talk about the teaching, learning, and acquisition of English, That is really an important theme. And considering this theme only, I have decided to talk about ICT-enabled teaching, learning, and innovation. Patel sir, I hope my voice is clear, and very shortly my screen will be visible to you. Patel sir, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'll be sharing the screen so that participants enjoy the stuff. Now, is it visible, sir? Screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the problem with Google Meet is that now I won't be able to see the participants until I minimize the window. Okay, I'm extremely sorry for that particular problem. Dear friends, today is the world driven by information and technology. And when we talk about information technology and its integration in education, in pedagogy, in teaching, learning, and evaluation, we find that on one hand, it is a necessity, and on the other hand, there are so many positives that ICT has given, or the online education, or the buzzwords like e-learning, virtual learning, or digital learning, all these words have given. So I'm going to talk about how these gadgets, devices, the social media, how they are incorporated today. They have been in use for a very long time, but how today, when we are locked and we need to open opportunities for our students, for others, for our colleagues, for ourselves, and how we can adapt to different models, methods, methodologies of teaching, learning, and evaluation, that becomes more pertinent today considering this situation. So I'm going to talk about that. If time permits, I'll be giving more time to evaluation towards the end, because there are some new methods of evaluation. I will be restricting to some websites, of course, some applications, of course, because of time constraint. I'll be very happy to receive your comments, feedback, and questions towards the end of my talk. I said in the beginning itself that I'm not able to say anything. I can see only my screen until I minimize it. So if you post any questions in the chat box, I'll be checking them after my talk is over. Suppose you find that I am wavered, I am digressing, I am going off the track, then you can stop me by unmuting yourself and telling me that I am not on the track. Okay, so dear friends, I'm very much thankful to your college for inviting me. I thank the participants who have been so active, so enthusiastic to attend such FDPs, that too for almost a week. And I'm very happy there are wonderful speakers to come, like Professor G.A. Ghansham, and really the presence of such people, Kirti Tiwari madam, and the persons like Rajiv Tiwari sir, they really enrich the entire faculty development program. And I expect that through my contribution, my sharing also, I contribute to the development of the faculty. It is a continuous development program, CPD as we say. And amidst this, you find that there are so many developments in the technology. And because of this, one day it won't be a wonder that a rat or mouse will be clicking the mouse. And then today is the world where we are teasing the backwards. We are teasing those who are backward in technology. That is what I mean. So here on your right, you know that there are some birds sitting on a rope wire. And then there is a bird without anything. So that is what Wi-Fi is, and that is what technology is. So one who does not adapt to the new technology, the new developments, the revolutionary changes, that person will remain backward today. Social economic backwardness is different, but when we talk about technology, and as I said, today using technology in pedagogy, in education, in academics is a necessity. And suppose our older generation, our parents, our grandparents say that is technology is very dangerous, then I'll say, or it is evil, I will say that yes, it is evil, but it is a necessary evil. So today what we see in ICT is three words, very important words. One is information. So today on your mouse click, there is ample information available. Even what I am giving, maybe better information is available on some websites, on YouTube, etc., etc. And we are communicating in a better way. You are sitting there in Raipur and other parts of India. I am here in Dhule, Maharashtra, and we are communicating. So this communication has become very easier. through social media in particular. We have Zoom free of cost. We have Google Meet free of cost. We have everything. Just recharge your mobile and that's it. So when we are techno savvy, the world is ours. We have everything around us. So amidst this, having knowledge of technology, that is becoming techno savvy, is very important, because there is always going to be a kind of conflict between those who are digital immigrants and those who are digital natives. There are guys like me who are not born in the age of technology, but who adapted to the technology. And then there is new generation, our students in particular, our children, they are digital natives. They know much better, much faster than we do. So if we use this ICT, information communication technology, if we use it, if you utilize it, if you integrate it in our educational system for teaching, learning, and evaluation, then there will be great benefits, right? So is ours a digital era now? My answer is of course yes, because now Amazon and Flipkart and this and that, Mantra, everything is there. Even in COVID, we were getting everything online, most of the things. So e-commerce is there, and online, offline, all these things are going on. Why isn't education then made online? That is a question. Shopping is there, and payment and all that is being done by phone pay and Paytm and Google Pay, etc. So we integrate this digital technology or ICT into education. So ours is really a digital landscape. Most of the people have the mobile phones and laptops. Of course, there is a big population of India which is without all these things, and I'm going to talk about that. But let's be positive, because I said it is a necessary evil. Let's think that yes, we have the gadgets, we have mobile, we have computers, and even in the remotest areas. Remember, tribal area is not very far from Dhule. Earlier, it was also a tribal district. So we have visited these areas, the tribal areas, the hills and the mountains and the valleys, and we have seen the schools where solar systems are placed and computer labs are placed, even in ashram schools. Just a month back, we conducted a webinar, national webinar, in a very tribal area. So many students from tribal areas were there. So let's come out of this particular phobia or particular misunderstanding, I would say, that, oh, there are so many people who are without that. Because I've seen even very poor guys managing something. Because one who works, one who moves his or her hands is not poor today. There may be some unfortunate people, of course. So when we talk about technology, when we talk about the digital era, when we talk about e-learning, when we talk about PDF and e-resources and audiobooks, etc., we feel that today is, yes, the digital age. Gone is the time when we used to say, no mobile. We used to tell our children, no, don't take mobile. Don't play on it. Don't use it. It will affect your memory. It will affect your eyes. Now is the time that no mobile. So it is a paradigm shift from no mobile to no mobile. Okay, so that paradigm shift has to be accepted, has to be respected by us, because that is inevitable today. When schools are closed, classes are closed, and dengue is very widely spreading in my area in particular, Dhule city. My daughter is affected by that. Now there are patients in the adjoining room in my home. In the neighboring colony, one patient has died. So going out is very risky. Forget corona. There is more deadly dengue. More deadly because the mortality rate is more. Amidst this, isn't it better to remain safe at home and go out whenever necessary, and then KNOW, now your mobile, and use your mobile for learning, for teaching, for evaluation, for shopping, for everything. So that is the time. So it is a time of education 4.0, where we find that technology is integrated. When you talk about big universities, institutes, the IITs, etc., we find that they have great database also. I'm going to give examples to you, because I don't like theoretical teaching. I like very first-hand experiences to be shared with my audience. So I'll be doing that very soon. So today, smartphone has become very common, and it is more or less very handy Forget the laptops and computers, etc. But smartphone is everything now. It is a camera, it is television, it is BBC radio. You can play music, you can have any kind of multimedia, you can download, you can browse, you can share, everything is in the smartphone. It is a smartphone. The time is for digital literacy. Are we smart? Are we capable of handling this new technology? When 5G mobiles have entered India, without 5G services, are we capable of handling that? Are we smart enough to tackle that? Are we having that artificial intelligence? Are we having that capability, that competence, that eligibility to shift from little bit of offline to little bit of online, where we will be integrating all these things and forget the teacher-centric education? It is long back gone that way, because now students have so many alternatives. I'm going to give these examples in autonomous learning or autonomous students and all. So conventional modes are there. There are people who uphold that, who endorse that, who feel that, yes, the conventional mode is great. Yesterday, deliberately, I asked my younger daughter, would you like to go to school? She said, no, it is better that I'm joining 2 lectures every day, enjoying. Google is God, Google helps a lot, and that's why our children, our students are getting more than 90%, which we never imagined in our lives. So conventional mode is there, and then online mode is there. Technology integration is there, artificial intelligence is there, but at the same time, the joy of learning, that physical contact, that feedback, that eye contact, that personality of the teacher, understanding the problems of the students, all these things have disappeared in this particular online educational system. Somewhere people feel that ethics, morals, and humanity is missing somewhere. Because what students do and what most of you must be doing now, that for the sake of certificate, it is going on, and we cannot monitor each and everybody what he or she is doing. And amidst that, what we see is that you are doing something else, browsing, chit-chatting, or even sleeping. I have some videos I cannot share, or pics, screenshots, where some housewives are cleaning and they are watching. They don't know that there is no need to keep their video on. So that is what Education 4.0 is. We are still in its infancy in most of the areas, but very soon we'll come out of it and we'll integrate ICT into our educational system. And so when we talk about digital literacy and we talk about these buzzwords like virtual learning and all, we can do so many things. Like we can create, we can communicate, we can compare, we can share, we can collaborate, and we can become competent on, from that. But remember, along with this Amazon and OLX and all these things, what is coming is cyber crime. And so many people are becoming victim of that. So many crimes. We are losing money, we are losing our peace and patience and all. So along with this digital literacy in the train of information communication technology, what has come is cyber threat. So we have to be vigilant about that. So these are the buzzwords today, and we cannot escape from them, because today is the virtual world, virtual reality. Because actual reality, and I'm using the word actual reality, I mean meeting personally has become hazardous, dangerous, harmful. Different diseases, ailments are there, and so definitely we should respect these words today, the digital space. And hence today we are living in that cycle where everything is driven by a mouse click or mobile touch or whatever you say. And amidst this, it is very necessary for us to be techno-savvy. So we need to understand how we can use ICT into teaching, learning, education, overall education, especially when we talk about acquisition of English. And what I've seen now, I need not tell, but I am a Marathi medium student who has lived in a small village. But it is more because of technology, more because of television and radio, that I could improve my English. If you think my English is good, thanks to the technology, the gadgets like television and radio in the olden days, and then YouTube and all in the modern days. So talk about post-COVID situation. I said that in some states, places, it is not post-COVID, it is still COVID situation. But for us, it is post-COVID. Still live classes aren't there. Some private are there, but pre-recorded classes I can record, I can share, upload on YouTube, share on Google Classroom and Edmodo and all. I can develop e-content in audiobook form. I'm going to share a few things at the end of my lecture. Or I can create videos and other material. And then, of course, I can have interactive sessions on Zoom, WebEx, and Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams, and even WhatsApp call, and then we can live stream on YouTube, live stream on Facebook. So we can integrate social media also into education today. We can have lots of database. I'm going to share the database of Kerala University. And somewhere we can think of blended learning. And there are many buzzwords which are synonymous to blended learning that we'll talk after some time. So why is ICT-based education necessary? First of all, it is COVID situation. Even before COVID situation, ICT was integrated. We had smart classes, we had smart boards, we had projectors, LED projectors, LCD projectors. We had Miracast, or casting from our mobile to television, or laptop to television. So COVID situation brought that. Second, today is the technology-driven world, and one who does not use technology is illiterate in technology, or digital illiterate, you may say. So it is digital life everywhere, shopping, this, that, and it's not the age of only information. It is of information plus entertainment. If you give information, maybe you won't be appreciated. And there should be edutainment also. Education along with entertainment. So I'm going to have some very wonderful picks for you, where you'll find lots of entertainment, but you get educated from that. So there are more learning opportunities than before when we talk about this kind of integration of technology. And then we have many resources in the form of apps. So many apps are there. You can read newspaper on an app. You can read Times of India. You can read India Today in the form of app or a website. You can copy, you can download, you can have a PDF, etc., etc. And most importantly, it is anything, anywhere. You are sitting in train, bus, traveling, you are sitting in a garden, and you can do that. So that is what the beauty of education is. And there can be two kinds of teaching, learning, evaluation: synchronous and asynchronous. So you can read on your screen how both can be utilized judiciously. One is bound by time, other one is timeless. So anything, anywhere, now what we are doing can be termed as synchronous, or when you watch this video on YouTube, it becomes something called asynchronous, etc., etc. Okay, this particular image will give you more information, more details about it. So here we have different kinds of platforms, and we can use them judiciously. Using judiciously is very important. When you give your mobile in the hand of your children, or when in classroom, that yes, please open your mobile and do this and that, then along with that, it is very likely that they will be going here and there. So this is where you need to be vigilant and careful. So when we talk about online education, there are so many channels of it. So first of all, we have social media. Again, in social media, we have so many platforms. We have Facebook for language learning, or even literature learning. There are so many Facebook pages. There are so many colleges, institutes, they have their own Facebook page. Our English Language Teachers Association of India has its Facebook page. We share our content, our videos and links and this and that. Or then we have Twitterature, so Twitter plus literature. And the people like Shitharu, they post so many things on Twitter, and we learn. We learn the updates, we get the updates, but at the same time, we learn new words, we enrich our vocabulary, so many other things. So Lasit Malinga also resigned on Twitter. So Twitter has become a wonderful platform to share or to take important decisions and declare there. So social media helps us to learn so many things, especially its contribution is to language learning. When we talk about movies, nearly 5-6 years ago, I taught the novel The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway in a very traditional, conventional, I would say rigid manner. Very few students understood, very few students enjoyed. I could not show them the fish, and I could not show them that old man. It was only the verbal images that I could do everything. But now what I do, I start a movie based on the novel, and I pause, I do commentary, I share, I ask them questions, I get their feedback. And even before lockdown, I used to show it on television or projector, and there was a greater joy. So movies and movie adaptations are there. Many classics or masterpieces have been converted or adapted for films or movies. So that gives you wonderful opportunity today. You can cut. You have KineMaster or InShot and OBS, and so many platforms are available where you can cut, you can edit, you can give your voice to that, voiceover and all. So that is a very beautiful endeavor. And YouTube, you can have your YouTube very easily. Almost everybody has got Android. Almost everybody has got YouTube account or channel. You can upload anything that you wish. So that's really beautiful. And again, you can watch the videos of this. I'm going to show you some videos based on stopping by woods. And this internet, it is the revolution. Now, just here, I have a very big library, but for a very long time, I have not touched even a single book, because better books easily just type the keywords, paragraphs are available for you, everything is available to you. So now PDF Zamana is there, and that is because of internet. And we have fast internet today, very beautiful plans, 4G plans. So it has become more facilitated, better learning opportunities for us. Video conferencing, so Google Meet right now is there, and then ebooks and PDF books already we have talked about that. There are audio books, you can create podcasts and all, or simply you can on your mobile, you can record a poem or a novel or a short story or a lesson, and that is going to be very recreative for your students. Of course, when we are talking about ICT, you can share it on Google Classroom and all. I'm going to talk about that. Or Edmodo, create a WhatsApp group and post there. Or you can have your Facebook page and you can share there all these things, the PDF, books, YouTube links and all. So when we talk about education, or when we talk about ICT enabled education, suppose tomorrow in post-COVID world, even then we can share all these contents. And I'm going to talk about that flipped classroom after some time. That will be a great boost to our learning. What we need is interest. What we need is devotion. And when we have all these things, then we can perform various tasks. And these tasks are full of challenges. So we can create wonderful content. We can collaborate with others for content making, for organization of various programs. And we can understand the applications. We can understand this technology, and we can utilize it. There can be task-based learning. We can assign different tasks to the students. They can get it done. Now, my friend from Kerala organized an FDP. They created the videos, they edited that, and they posted on their website. So now it is available to the entire world. So if you give your students some tasks, and there are some wonderful videos and tasks were given to the students. So if we integrate this, learning will be full of fun, and it will be full of entertainment. And when there is this part of it's really a joyful endeavor. So here I wanted to how the Hindu recorded all these things, but okay, we'll go ahead. And then there are so many platforms today. Now life has become so rapidly different. I'm saying rapidly different because with many learning platforms and learning management systems are there. There are so many software providers and this and that. And so very flexible, user-friendly learning platforms are like Moodle. You can have distance education, flipped classrooms, e-learning, and so many things. I'm just giving a sample to you. And then we have so many softwares, for training others, for administration of learning, etc., etc. We have cloud. Now there are clouds. It's overcast conditions over here in Maharashtra right now. So that cloud is there where you can have space, you can store, you can keep that reservoir for a long time for your students or for others also. And it will facilitate autonomous learning also. So So here again, you can learn at your own and pace, time, and whatever you say. You're not restricted. You are a free, liberated kind of world. It is not that classroom where you need to enter and be there. When teacher-centric education was there a few years, a decade ago. But now you enter a different world. So many hyperlinks are there, and you can enter again different realms. So there are so many of Moodle. All we are literate, so I'm not going to read whatever there is on the screen. Okay, so we can have blended learning. We can have very friendly kind of interface, and everything can be done through the Moodle. The next thing that I wanted to talk is flipped classroom. Now, this is a very important feature. May I request all of you to mute yourself, and if there is some problem from my side, please unmute and tell me. Please mute. Please mute. Let me speak. Please. So, flipped classroom is a new concept that we say, and that we see also. And autonomous learning can be facilitated by this. Here, there are two kinds of classrooms. On one hand, there is a traditional classroom. On the other hand, there is a flipped classroom. So in traditional classroom, what used to happen, the syllabus is given and students know the curriculum. Sometimes the teacher would say, tomorrow we are going to study this. So students, maybe some of us, very interesting students, very studious, sincere, they would be reading a bit about that particular novel, poetry, or whatever, linguistics and stylistics and this and that. And then in the class, there will be discussion in the class, teaching will be there, and some activities, some assignments, some homework will be given. So that is what used to happen in the traditional class. What happens in the flipped class is that even before the lecture takes place, the teacher shares the handouts, the shares content created on Google Classroom, for example. So on Google Classroom, you can share some PDF, some e-book or kind of paper, and you can share some links, and you can give the assignments also before the lecture starts. So during the lecture, you can discuss, you can ask questions, you can seek questions, and it will be a wonderful lecture. And then there will be discussions, there will be peer discussions. Students will have their groups and they'll discuss over there. And this is how you can facilitate better learning environment. So this is possible even in offline mode if we integrate this online mode. What happens is before the class in the traditional classroom, you just find that students are just entering casually. But in the flipped class, they are ready, they know the material, they know the data, they have the data, they know the contents, they know what the teacher is going to share and teach and discuss. So in advance, they're doing everything, and that's why there is better learning environment and there are better outputs. The outputs are better, most importantly. So even after the class, they are engaged in learning process during the class and even before the class, before, during, and after. So that is the beauty of the flipped classroom. And I think this approach has to be undertaken, adapted by all of us today. So if we take the example of all these things, I told you that Google Classroom is something that facilitates all these things. Edmodo is another platform. And when we'll be talking about online evaluation, and forget COVID and all, but the joy or the ease that we have, the facilities that we have got because of online educational system. Some fear that some teachers will not be recruited, will be dismissed, and they'll be terminated. I don't think all these things. If you're techno-savvy, if you're multitasking, if you are multi-talented, then nobody will dare to remove you from the service. It will be indispensable there. So flipped class is for those teachers who are able and let's be indispensable. And yes, I was talking about autonomous learning. Now, this autonomous learning, we have talked about autonomous colleges, autonomous universities. But what is autonomous learning? It is learning autonomy. A student is free to learn anytime, anywhere, free to see any kind of material using different kinds of sources and resources. So first of all, we have to identify the needs. I mean, a student has to, a learner has to. Suppose a student is going to study some novel, Indian novel, for example, of say Shobhade or Shashi Deshpande or Chetan Bhagat, then identifying the needs. Look at the history of novel. So autonomous learning, he will be browsing through different websites. He might be visiting in traditional way some libraries, right? Physical libraries, I would call them, or the e-libraries. Again, database is too much available. PDF drive.net is there, and you'll find in millions of books available there. So identifying the needs and then browsing the material here and there. Yeah, you have to plan for the learning, what you are going to do, how you are going to do, and all these things will be there. You have to have your own strategies, like taking notes. Even in PDF you can take notes, you can highlight, you can underline, you can delete, you can insert. I hope you know, even in PDF, which we used to say that it is not editable, but it is also editable. So here you have, big number of opportunities. You can assess yourself, because there are some websites. I'm going to talk about that also. We'll have some online quiz through that, where you can assess yourself, because the computer or the website is integrated in such a way, designed in such a way that it can give you feedback, very quick feedback, very accurate feedback. And even you can create your own world. Your teacher can create this kind of text or test or quiz or quiz contest, and you can assess yourself. Your teachers can assess, your parents can assess. You can revise. It's very simple. Now, for example, to some people, if my lecture is very difficult to understand, then you can go back to your YouTube, you can watch it again. So this kind of revision is very simple when you talk about this autonomous learning, and you can select different kinds of resources. I'm going to give you the example of my very favorite poem. And whenever I talk about teaching literature, I cannot escape without mentioning this Robert Frost's immortal poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. So while preparing for this lecture, I just typed Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, and I got millions of images, right? If you Google, you will find images are there, and then you will find so many videos are available. Even Indian students have sung beautifully. There is one teacher. I'm going to play that video after some time. So she has also given the background music through that. So you have so many resources. Then there are lectures available. I have also prepared one lecture long back, I think a year and a half back, on Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, and I found it very enlightening and very creative. But students, suppose they don't like my lecture, then they have the Western speakers lectures, Western teachers lectures. They have the lectures of one South African, South Korean lady, wonderful speaker of English, or they have South Indian teachers. So many resources. You have got PDF books, you have got website, you have got commentaries, you have got journals based on that. What not? What is not there? Okay, so songs based on the poem Stopping by Woods are there, right? So it's going to be very beautiful. You'll be enjoying after some time. So autonomous learning is full of goals, strategies, identifying needs, working on that, assess yourself, monitor the progress. If you find you are backward, if you find you are slow, go back, start learning again, and start working again, and try to reach your goal. That is what autonomous learning says. And practice makes a person perfect. So practice, practice, and practice, and then you will find that these learning outcomes are very perfect. But remember, in autonomous learning, your smartphone, you and your laptop are there, and there is a large possibility that you may get carried away. You may get diverted. You may feel, oh, the world in social media is much more comfortable, much more enjoyable, enlightenment giving and all. So these possibilities are there, and we are going to talk about that in the glitches, in the shortcomings of this. So when we talk about autonomous learning, the first thing comes to my mind is WhatsApp University. Many times it happens that somebody is not dead, but WhatsApp University declares he is or she is dead. This happened in Maharashtra when a leading politician was not dead, but people, had that photograph. It's very easy to get it. They they garlanded it through that image editing in the gallery, and condolences were overflowing, tributes were overflowing. So this is WhatsApp University. Lots of content is shared, created, forwarded. What is important is forwarded. And we rely on the forwarded content. That is very important for all of us. So when we talk about autonomous learning, can learners be teachers? Can learners be developers? Can they develop their own data? These are some of the things we need. I'm checking my mobile every now and then because sometimes data is over and there will be disturbance. So I'm just a bit cautious, over cautious about that. I see so many teachers, they have another laptop and they read on that, and you can see the eyes moving, So autonomous learners, they understand this teacher is reading, and then they see some teachers, they are spontaneous. So when we talk about ICT, how WhatsApp can be utilized for language learning, for teaching, etc., etc. When the first lockdown was there, we created WhatsApp groups, and then we started delivering lectures there. I mean, recording the lectures in audio form because videos were very big and could not be shared. We used to share them. Later on, we understood how to upload and how to record, and then we understood e-content development, how to create. So we had so many tutorials available on OBS Studio and KineMaster, KineMaster, some people call it, in short, and on Zoom and all. So this Google Meet was also not very friendly for a long time. So how to create content? So Zoom, you can record in Zoom and you can have your own video. If there are some glitches, you can edit, you can cut, you can add. All these beautiful things are there on your laptop or mobile, right? Somebody said something? Okay, and then Google has given us so many things. Free websites are there, and if you browse something and it is available, of course, Microsoft Edge is there. That is also a wonderful engine, search engine I'm talking about. So how to make the most? The technology is with you, the laptop or the mobile phone is with you, how to make the most? How to integrate for teaching? For example, there are so many free websites, but how do I use it for students? What I do, I share the screen in the Zoom class or Google Meet class, and then I ask the students, okay, what's the answer of this? And these questions are available, multiple choice questions are available on almost every topic. And suppose they are not available, you make them available, you create them, you develop that kind of content, or you can have your own website today free of cost, and you can upload material over there. So in autonomous learning, ICT-based education is facilitated more. Right, you can be the content creator, you can be the developer, you can be the collaborator, you can be the learner. That is the simplest thing, of course, because you've got so many alternatives, and then so many mobile apps are there. I'm not going to discuss much about mobile apps, but almost on everything there is a mobile app. Now I sing so many songs on Smule. I always used to miss, when we are talking about autonomous learning, there are some songs that are translated into English from Hindi. And if we get time, I'll definitely share that song with you. I hope you know that song. Kabhi kabhi mere dil mein khayal aata hai. Actually, it's a dialogue, and then there is one song based on that. Ye kahan gaye hum yun saath chalte chalte, like this. So you'll find that there is a song in English also, and this autonomous learning makes it more joyful. When you look at the apps that translate, Google Translate translates it very easily. You can give it background music, and it's available on Star Maker and on Smule, or you can have another music, different kind of music, integrate. So this is how autonomous learning can facilitate autonomous teaching, autonomous content development, and you'll find videos on almost everything are available. How to make Puran Puli, which is very famous in Maharashtra, or how to do this, how to do that. Everything is available. We don't need teachers, in the traditional way for that, or we don't need a workshop for that, because there are 10-minute, 15-minute tutorials available, and they facilitate better learning, better content development through the websites, through the mobile apps. For example, for everybody, there is some first experience. So I was not very comfortable with KineMaster, you may call it KineMaster, of course. And then it is the tutorial that I watched on YouTube that made me very expert in KineMaster, and in short also. This is how I created my videos. I shared on, uploaded on YouTube, etc., etc. So we have so many e-journals. We have almost every e-newspaper is available, and we have so many PDF books. I talked about, of course, the pdfdrive.net, where so many books are available in PDF form, free of cost for downloading also. And in autonomous learning, the important thing, if small children are there, we are not predefined what kind of students we are talking about, because now children are more techno savvy because they are digital natives. So we have so many websites even for games. I'm going to click some of those websites. But here, when I have given you the YouTube link, it is of the Kerala University distance mode, where they have got the Pathshala. Actually, it is Pathshala in our area, but in that part of India, they call it Padushala, Pathshala or something. So they conducted programs, and they have that videos available on this website. You can click and you can watch them. I'm not going to talk about that right now. But when we talk about these apps and videos, you find that there are so many teaching learning apps. I just typed the teaching learning websites, and I got this on Google itself. And then what I love the most is this website, that is EnglishUsing.com. So let's go to that. How ICT, that is your mobile, your laptop, your computer, how that can be very useful, can be seen from here. So here it will predefine whether you are a student or teacher, and there will be so many things. You can learn anything, grammar and this and that. See, you can see here. You can log in, you can register articles, and so many things are there. You know, grammar and vocabulary. Again, in grammar and vocabulary, you have parts of speech. If you are an elementary learner, there are grammar quizzes, and even for teaching grammar, there are some quizzes available, teaching vocabulary, articles, and this. So let's see how this is taught. Vocabulary, right? Everybody feels that my vocabulary should be better and all that. So there are levels also, you can see. Themes are also there, and you have to check your spellings. Okay, so this is how you find that there are many websites where you can. This is just a sample. Okay, and through this you can do miracles for your students, even for yourself. You can check your own understanding of a particular topic. For example, we have got conjunctions over here, and there are 3 lessons available on this. So see, the conjunctions like although and even though and all these conjunctions are there. So beautiful. And this is just one website. You just imagine there are thousands and millions of websites available for this. So beginners, general, and this and that, all these things are there. Okay, I hope that is enough right now to talk about the website and all. And now we'll move towards, just a second. We'll move towards our earlier part, and that is our PPT presentation. Okay, and I also hope that you are all enjoying the lecture. Okay, just hold for a few seconds.
Well, myself R.K. Srivastava. Can you listen me?
Yeah, I can listen to you, sir. Please.
Thank you very much.
My lecture is not over. Half more hours, sir. Can I finish, or I have to answer in between?
No, you can.
Yeah, let me finish. I have got lots of stuff for all of you. So let's focus on that, and I'll come to that. Okay, so these are my slides. We're talking about autonomous learning and all. Okay, so I request all of you to keep your audio muted because now a dog was barking and we were enjoying the bark. Now we are coming towards YouTube. Forget the websites and all. Let's be specific. It is about YouTube as a resource, as a learning or whatever you call it, learning resource. So many resources are available. Now, when we talk about English language teaching and learning, you'll find that so many avenues are available through YouTube. So first of all, if we work on accent to improve your speaking skills, listening, speaking, reading, writing, your speech, your speaking can be modulated by what you listen to. And in that, we have a wonderful video over here. I request all of you to watch it at your own leisure and enjoy it. So this is Tony Gray and Sachin Tendulkar. They're in Sharjah. I hope it is still the audio is not there. Yeah, just listen for a few seconds.
What a player he is. Oh, he's hit this one, Miles. Right shot. Oh, it's a biggie. Straight over the top.
Okay, this is just a sample, and whenever you find time, you can watch it. Now, Tony Gray is famous for his pronunciation, for his accent, the fluency, the spontaneity. And if you look at that particular energy that he instills, that is very necessary for the teachers, for the students, because many times how we speak is without life. There is one advertisement, I don't remember which cement it is, but somebody asks, "Is cement mein kya hai?" And the person asks, answers, response, "Is cement mein jaan hai?" So this is what jaan is. You put life in your speaking, and your speaking becomes wonderful. People like to listen to you. People like to watch you speaking. So that is because of that kind of commentary. Oh, he has hit is very high. Oh, it's huge. It's the 6. If you look at our very usual, ordinary kind of conversation, oh, he has hit it very high. It is huge. Oh, it is a 6. Now there is no life in it. So in order to make our students understand voice modulation, the vocalics, the paralanguage, the paralinguistic aspects of communication in this technology, where information plus technology and we communicate effectively. Even animals and birds and all communicate, but communicating effectively, that means so many other things. And this is what we learn from the accent of Tony Gray. This is just a sample again. And there are a few more speeches. We have Barack Obama. I'm not going to share all these videos with you. Shashi Tharoor, a politician, a writer, and a wonderful speaker, to keep a very big dictionary in order to understand his vocabulary, of course, many times. He's very active on Twitter, and we can facilitate better learning environment, especially for reading. And we can watch him because he has delivered talks in Oxford and other places. And I just want you to take to this particular girl. Okay, she is Janvi, who speaks more than 8 languages very fluently. Some advertisement will be there. By then I'll be talking with you, of course.
नमस्कार, मैं सर्वप्रिया सांगवान और भी
Okay.
ये एक्सेंट ऐसे थे जिनमें आज के बारे में मैं जानती भी नहीं हूँ कैसे कैसे एक्सेंट है, लेकिन आपने सब सीखा कैसे? ये मैंने
नेट से सीखा, ICT enabled.
ब्रिटिश एक्सेंट में बात कर सकती है, राइट? तो आप हमारे साथ जेम्स हैं, आप उनके साथ बात करेंगी जो जेम्स, अब आप उनसे बात करके दिखाइए, क्योंकि वो कह रही है कि वो ब्रिटिश एक्सेंट में भी बात कर सकती है.
I can't understand Hindi, but I believe you can understand British.
I understand British.
That's a very good British accent. Carry on then. So, have you met the Queen?
Okay, I just cannot spend the entire time on discussing all these things, but it is a sample. Again, you type Janvi, who speaks 8 languages very fluently, and you saw her British accent. She is so fluent. She's just 13 or 14, if I'm not wrong, and she is such a wonder, a miracle. And then, dear friends, when we talk about teaching, then teaching what? So when we talk about teaching English language, then of course there are so many So many resources like YouTube is there, so many websites are there. I talked about EnglishUsing.com. So we can teach grammar there, and we can teach them speaking. So there you can teach them presentation. They can create their own news, and they can present their news. So their body language, their facial expressions can be assessed, evaluated, and they can be very good speakers, eloquent speakers. At the same time, you can tell them to write the comments on Facebook or WhatsApp or Twitter or blogs. Give long comments. I encourage my students to write long comments in English because that facilitates writing skills. So you can use website. You can use all these things. I'm going to talk about even television today, how it is important, or even radio. So these things are very important when it comes to language teaching. So speaking, reading, writing, all that can be facilitated. But when it comes to teaching literature, then there are more dimensions available. There are more perspectives and there are more avenues. So here there are nearly 5 to 6 video links, YouTube links that I have got over here, and let's spend few seconds on each of them. Just enjoy how diversity is available for us.
Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. You will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow.
Now, this is the first video that I wanted to share with you, and you will find that it is for children. It is full of all these children-related things where cartoons are available, etc., etc. But the message is there, the pictorial description is there, and it's really wonderful. Now, here is another one. We have different kinds of videos available. Bear with this advertisement for a few seconds. Very beautiful, and you must have certainly enjoyed this video as well. And I'm bringing you to some very Indian kind of ethos through this particular video. This is something very brilliantly Indian, and I'm not going to share 2 more videos with you because of time constraint, because there are so many things that I want to talk with you. Okay, so YouTube as a resource and information and communication technology, we can share these links with your students, or students can create their own videos. They can have their creativity. If you wish, you can just type "stopping by woods" on YouTube or Google, and you'll find so many videos available there. So autonomous learning facilitates that you have so many brilliant kinds of videos available. It is not necessary that you stick to your own teacher. Sometimes in a classroom, it happens that a student does not like our teaching, but he or she has to sit. It is compulsory. But in autonomous learning, this doesn't happen. If you don't like your lecture, somebody else's lecture is there. So I mean, among these links is my lecture also. So that is where autonomous learning facilitates multiple options, alternatives. So there are songs based on the poem, there are pictorial expressions, there are cartoons, there are videos available, and there are so many lectures available of different eminent speakers across the world. Radio, today radio has almost lost its space, but again today we have Saregama, Karwa, and all that. So radio is coming back that way, but in the form of songs only. when it comes to a teaching, as a teaching aid, you see that it is still a poor person's very comfortable, convenient, affordable teaching aid. So on the left, you can see the poor children, African children. On the right, you can see that BBC is available on your mobile. It's in the form of app. So now also BBC world class, you can watch it. We can listen to it. And on free channel, Doordarshan channel, that free dish is available. So many channels are still there where teaching, learning takes place. But we watch colors and this and that, Sony, and we are full of entertainment, reality shows and all. We are not using television as a teaching aid, but it can be utilized. The movies, the songs, or the news in English, they can facilitate listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And there are some websites like Wiki Educator, where so many things can be created, right? Connections are there, we can communicate, we can get connected, we can create content, we can share content, we can build our own capacity, and we can have communities. And Wiki itself is a community, as you know. So so many websites, so many content creators, providers are there. And now we are talking about educational games. Gamification is very necessary. If we facilitate learning, teaching through games, then that is long lasting, sustainable kind of learning, you may say. What happens today, they learn and tomorrow they forget. So that doesn't happen when they learn with lots of fun. So these are some of the games, but let's go to, oh my God, there is no hyperlink over here. So we cannot, okay, it is there. Hyperlink is over here. And we'll just watch one game right now. These are some of the games that are, but we'll go to academic. Okay, they want me to accept something. So these are some of the games, and one of them is over here. Grades. And these games are available free of cost on the website. I have not paid anything for this. Okay, so all these are there and we can start.
Welcome to Adapted Mind, where monsters teach you math. From counting to algebra, we make math visual and fun. This is counting.
Okay,
Oh,
so we cannot afford to spend more time on this also. But these are some of the educational games. Now, they are not games, just games where they are spending their time, wasting their time, and we are shouting at them. But these are educationals. And then, of course, the social media is there. We are so much surrounded by social media today, you know, that Twitter is there, WhatsApp and Telegram and Facebook, and so many things are there. Some academic platforms are also there, LinkedIn and I think academy.in or something. So all these are there, and you find that today we are very much addicted to that, and we are using it. But if you use it for learning, teaching, language, literature, sharing, and for our own personality development, then that is going to be very good. So here is a man on your right who is trying to achieve his goals through social media. But then there are some people who are very much addicted to social media. They cannot come out of it. They have entered that world, and it's very difficult for them to come out of that world. And this is horrible. This is really unbelievable. You can see this. You are all very mature. So I have deliberately shared this particular image over here on your right, at the below part of your screen. So this is addiction, and this addiction is really very dangerous. But if we use it positively, if you use this force of social media positively for teaching, learning of, say, literature or values or human values or personality development or communication skills or learning grammar, learning accent or whatever, then that is going to be very, very useful. Because suppose you teach English through PUBG, then that is going to be very important. But if you say that don't play PUBG and just learn English, nobody is going to pay attention to you seriously. So somewhere you have to integrate games into this kind of learning environment. And most importantly, if you use social media, if you bring some variety, if you bring some innovation, if you bring something like a change for going to enjoy that. So you can use this platform for language learning. And yes, I was going to talk about this blended learning. All this is almost the same. Sometimes the traditional way, if it is possible, and the newer ways like hybrid learning. There is offline, there is online kind of learning. I'm likely to get disconnected because the pack is over. I'm going to reconnect with my another mobile. Okay, so few seconds it may require, but this is what personalized learning or technology mediated instruction is there. Mixed mode instruction is there. So many things can be there, and through them, if we are talking about language, then we need to develop, we need to command, we need to master these four skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking, and all that. Right? Listening can be done through YouTube and so many movies and songs and all. Then speaking can be done. You can interact with anybody. You can record your own speech, and then you can read online, offline, etc. And then you can write offline, online. You can maintain your diary. You can check your writing. Grammarly.com is there. You can translate. There is Google Translate, and so many things are there. You can share this with your teachers also if they find time. And then we are coming towards online evaluation. Please remember, if I get disconnected, I will reconnect within few seconds. So don't go away. Okay. Google Classroom, I hope most of you are very, very comfortable with this, and you have already talked about that. But Edmodo, we'll talk about Edmodo. It is somewhat different, and I'll love to talk about that. Edmodo. Okay, Edmodo is not working. Okay, it is just like Google Classroom. I'll try to open it after some time. And here you can share your assignments, share links, videos, images, e-content. You can give them assignments, you can give them quiz. You can create a quiz there in Edmodo. You can have the list of your students through emails, or you can share that code with them, and they can join your class anytime. And you can share the pre-recorded video there, etc., etc. And test modes is just for quiz, for testing the knowledge and expertise. So it is very interesting. Again, in moments I'll definitely talk about this. But time has told us that it can be online. But now what you see that more than 90%. But if teacher is he can shuffle or shuffle questions, ask questions which are not available on Google, asking such a way that it's very difficult for them to learn anything on time limit. In that time, they should find answers, they should answer your question. Time evaluation is possible with the help of these. So long as almost everybody knows it for feedback and for registration, etc. But amidst these concerns, and the first concern, please, I'm not able to hear you, and it is a So friends, welcome back, and extremely sorry for getting disconnected. Some things are not in our hands, right? Okay, so last few slides are there, and I hope by 4 o'clock and 5 minutes or something, I'll finish my talk. Is it okay for you? It has to be okay, okay. So I'm just sharing the things which you know already. So we are here, dear friends. We are talking about all these apps and all YouTube resources. And then, yes, the book read. Keep your audio muted. Please keep your audio muted. So this digital divide is there. Oh my God. Somebody is engaged in some conversation. Please keep yourself muted. Okay, digital divide is there. There are so many students even now, so many people. Oh. Dear admin, please mute this person who is talking. And sometimes yeah, please. And there is no reason to keep unmuted. You know, I don't find what the reason is. So this digital divide is very dangerous because you find even today there are many people living in tribal rural areas. They are below poverty line and they cannot afford a mobile. If they afford a mobile, they cannot afford nearly 200 rupees per month. You know, so this digital divide is very dangerous. And even if they have the network, they recharge and they have got everything, then the network doesn't help many times. Overcast conditions, lack of electricity and all. And I saw my students, you know, working in farms, and from there joining the lecture. I forced the student, why don't you start your video? And then he showed me how he was working in a farm. So they have to earn and they have to learn. So we cannot expect this kind of expertise or techno savviness from everybody. We have to understand. We have to be very, very considerate and courteous. So Times of India has also talked about this, how this urban-rural divide, or those who have the gadgets and those who do not have. So this kind of survey has been published very recently, last week itself. And so you find that only 12% rural children had their own smartphone, only 12%. And 57% children in urban sample and 65% in rural sample reported connectivity issues in online classes. So even when they have everything, the connectivity issue is there. And when you talk about socially backward students, then you find only 4% children were studying online regularly compared to 15% among other rural children. So this is a very terrible situation, and we are helpless in many ways. There are many things which are not in our hands. So the digital divide is there. Another problem, very interesting picture is there. In 1980s, the desktop was very big, the monitor was very big, and the person was very slim. In 2013, actually it is of 2013, but in pandemic, people have become fatter than before. They have put on more weight, gained more weight. So the mobile has become thin, slim mobiles. The laptop is very slim, lightweight, but people have put on their weight. So that is a very dangerous thing. This mobile has affected our eyes, our memory, our back, our waist very badly. So we need to take care. And there are so many glitches because in our traditional classroom, we used to come together and there was social affinity, collaboration was there. But now, unfortunately, there is social isolation. And, you know, this is personalized education. Parents don't know what you're doing on your mobile or laptop. They're not able to monitor you. Teachers are not able to monitor you. So there is possibility that students or children are visiting other sites. Even in some assemblies, you are seeing that the people there who were there, the MLAs, they were watching something that they should not have watched there. So forget about these youths who are full of passion and full of future also. So here we find that there are so many teachers who are not interested. There are so many students who are fed up with all these things. And of course, creating content, developing content is something that takes your time. And the dangerous thing that I have shared before is technology addiction. This is very dangerous because you cannot sleep without you while teaching, while dining, while sleep, everything. You know, the mobile is with you. Every next moment, you just look at your mobile, whether there is a message or not. And this isolation is very dangerous. Digression is very dangerous. You are going away from all these things. And if I'm not wrong, there are many crimes that are taking place, extramarital affairs, premarital affairs, lots of vulgarity coming in, dangerous things are happening in this. So yes, network, electricity, and smartphones are not that great for everybody, and competence and so many things, and most importantly, devotion and interest. That is missing. National Education Policy 2020 talks about so many things, and I hope now I am becoming to you again after the glitches. I hope that through ICT enabled teaching, learning, and evaluation, to some extent, not completely or 100%, we can have access, we can have equity, quality, affordability, accountability, equality, and all. Right? So to some extent, again, I am saying there are some universities which are conducting online evaluation or exams very strictly. They've got those softwares and cameras and all. But then there are universities where no system at place, no monitoring, no vigilance, no surveillance, nothing like that. So yes, access is there, equity is there, but quality is getting damaged. Quality is getting affected. And when you talk about these things which are very new, then affordability is a problem with small colleges, small institutes, poor institutes with poor structure and all. And then comes the question of accountability. If something happens, who is held responsible? Who will take the onus? These are some of the glitches. And so from here, we take a message for all of us that if a child can't learn the way we teach, maybe we should teach the way they learn. So this is what ICT-enabled teaching says. This is where autonomous learning takes place. This is where we should respect the students' autonomy, students' choice, students' selection, and we should not imbibe without reason. We should not emphasize without reason. We should not force and compel the students to do something. And if we give them freedom, if we infuse infotainment and edutainment in our lectures, in our teaching learning practices, if we become friendly with students, if we become if we facilitate co-learning, collaborative learning, peer group activities, if we give tasks, then there can be wonderful outputs and outcomes. And the desired goals set by our forefathers, set by different educationists, those goals will be achieved, those goals will be reached, and our education will be very, very successful. So that's all from my side. I hope you enjoyed my lecture on ICT-enabled teaching, learning, and evaluation. If you want to know more about Edmodo, Testmos, or Google Classroom, you can ask me a question or you can request me. I'll take you to the website and I'll talk about that. Thank you very much for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I could not observe your facial expressions, but I hope you all enjoyed this interactive session. You are all very senior to me, older than me, more educated, and maybe having more knowledge. And so whatever I had, I just like to share with you on the request of Dr. Rajiv Tiwari. And I am thankful to...
Thank you, sir. Great session.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So now I'm free to answer your questions, and I'm very happy I was introduced by another Vaibhav. So Vaibhav Sabnis introduced by another Vaibhav Kani. So that was also a great coincidence.
He is also from Maharashtra, sir.
Oh, good.
He is also from Maharashtra, sir.
Great. Okay, I think there are some questions in the chat box. Let me read. Okay, so many questions are there. Can we get the PPT is the question? No, it is my intellectual property. You cannot get it. Okay. What is the correlation between blended learning and the flipped classroom? So that is a very, very wonderful question by Pratima Madam. Thank you for this question. Blended learning is something where traditional and modern ways of teaching learning are fused, and that's why it is called blended learning. So sometimes I'm using projector and light goes off or some technical glitch takes place. Then I just continue my lecturing in the traditional way. That is what blended learning is. But today I'm in the mood to teach in the traditional way. So I'll just start a video and I will give some assignment to the students. That is what blended learning is. But when we talk about flipped classroom, it is somewhat different because here it's an entirely different plan. But of course, they are correlated again. That, for example, you can blend flipped learning and blended learning, of course. Something beforehand is shared. In the traditional classroom, you can share your Xerox and this and that, handouts and all with the students. And in the online class or ICT enabled class, you have got a WhatsApp group, you have got a Facebook page, or you have got Google Classroom or Edamodo Classroom, and there you share all these things. So beforehand, and then discussion takes place. So in the traditional class, that discussion would not take place because it was more or less teacher-centric. But this flipped classroom is a student-centric class. Students discuss, they ask, they respond, and that is how we can accelerate the learner's success through that. Okay, Srivastav sir has asked, can we set up a certificate course of ICT separately for the students of English to enhance their additional qualification? Yes, of course, because digital literacy is the call of the hour. It is very much necessary today. And yes, if a certificate course is there, but I will say that there is no need of certificate course on one hand because most of the students are techno-savvy. Actually, there should be a certificate course for the teachers because most teachers are not techno-savvy today. They are digital migrants. However, the students are digital natives. They are born along with the technology. Earlier, our mother used to play something with her hands when I was crying in my childhood. But now a mother plays something on the mobile. So the child is so much used to, habituated to a mobile phone right from the birth itself. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Shankaram, I may be wrong in pronunciation, has asked, who are the target learners of ICT-based pedagogy? In my lecture today also, I talked about how the undergraduate, how even the teachers, and how children, we can use it.
फीडबैक लिंक दे दो ना यार, कल अपन लेट हो गए थे तो लोग बोल रहे थे. मैसेज किए थे तुम, अभी व्हाट्सएप ऑन नहीं किए हो क्या?
I think it is not meant for me. I hope so.
Okay.
So, yeah, segmentation is not necessary that way. We have, for example, when I am dealing with the teachers over here, my perspective, my methodology is completely different. And suppose tomorrow I am asked to teach the students of 5th standard, then of course it will be different, full of cartoons, games, quizzes, and so many beautiful images around. So I think that difference can be done when we are engaged in ICT-enabled teaching and learning. Okay, can some links for literature be posted? Actually, you Google the things and you will find everything there, madam. Jayanti Raj, madam. But in my speech, there were some links. You please visit them. Yeah, these were the questions. Thank you very much. If there are any questions in audio form, you can ask now. And thank you for the comments, feedback. So many participants have appreciated, admired. Thank you very much. It is a great boost for me. Remember, my daughter is infected by dengue. Another daughter is fever, having lots of fever, and in that I'm having. This is a kind of relief for me when I'm getting engaged in a talk with you.
Sir, we are very thankful to you that because of even your daughter is sick, you gave time to us, sir. Thankful. I'm really thankful to you, sir. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir. And I thoroughly enjoyed because I was stuck in that for last 4 or 5 days, and I told that it is more dangerous than Corona. I hope you are all getting recovered and minimizing the social distancing now and working together to come out of this pandemic and work efficiently for our society. I pray for that.
Sir, I have one question. I'm Kirti from
Please, madam.
Raipur.
Oh, madam, please.
Sir, it's always a pleasure to hear you, and as usual, your talk was very informative, interesting, and all. And you have not only covered practical problems and have given practical tips, but you have also warned us against the glitches and the shortcomings. And it is very beneficial, I'm sure, for teachers as well as learners. I have one this thing. We have different levels of students. Some are first generation learners, and some are more in undergraduate and even postgraduate classes. So, how can ICT be useful in tackling them then to the different classes of students?
Thanks for a very wonderful question, and thanks for, of course, your appreciation. It means
Thank
a lot
you,
for me.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, even in one class, suppose you would take a postgraduate class, even in that class, you'll find there are some slow learners, there are some advanced learners. And it's always a tough task for a teacher to manage teaching these diversified kind of students. So for that, a teacher has to manage then and there. I will equate it with cricket. How you play a particular ball as a batter depends upon the ball that you get. So sometimes it can be premeditated, sometimes it can be unpremeditated. So when we talk about premeditated, then you take for granted that the student who enters MA English class knows this kind of thing, or his base is like that, and then you teach something advanced to the student. For example, when we talk about the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, suppose you are teaching this poem, or a teacher is teaching at undergraduate level, then we'll be talking more about the music in that, the lyric in that, or the figures of speech that are there, or the alliteration are there. And when you talk about the postgraduate students, then you talk about symbolism, images, or you may even enter stylistics or stylistic perspective. You can analyze the poem from stylistic point of view.
Yeah.
And again, in statistics, you will enter so many worlds. So this is how you have to change that track when the needs of the students, the context changes, or the necessities of the students, the levels of the students changes. So again, so many videos are available online free of cost, number one. Number two, you can create your own videos. Number three, you can tell your students to prepare. For example, there are 10 students studying in PG. They will prepare 10-minute audio or videos, and that will be an assignment. They will be given marks. So somebody will be talking about alliteration in Stopping by Woods. Somebody will talk about significance of the title. Somebody will talk about images. And while doing this, the student will integrate technology. For example, images. I have shared in one of my, I think in one of the slides, the images were there. Or you can click that image in a video and have as a JPG. So images, what they symbolize, what they signify, or the symbols like the frozen lake or the woods, all these symbols are there. So these postgraduate students will go deeper, and because we need to develop their critical sensibility. So the questions will be asked to them, or assignments will be given to them from that angle. And so we'll be focusing as a teacher also on those issues rather than meaning. And again, we'll be talking about the surface meaning and the deeper meaning, the suggestive meaning, the figurative meaning, and the literal meaning. So literal meaning will be more or less discussed in the undergraduate class. And again, that between the lines will be discussed in the postgraduate class. So here, of course, videos are there, YouTube links are there. And again, we may talk about different devices, prosthetic devices that have been utilized in the poem. So this is how, using the same kind of technology, like kind of thing. So many people, when they blame Google or something, or they say that it is typo, or it is spelling mistake or printing mistake, I say that you should proofread. You are responsible. You are
Yeah.
accountable. So I think interest, devotion, and all these things will definitely sort out this problem. When we are serious,
No,
when we-
actually, we should do some research on those signboards of shops, sir, because that is also creating confusion among the public about the wrong spellings and all.
Correct. There can be a wonderful lecture full of fun when we talk about signboards. For example, men's parlor kind of thing, or gents men's parlor. Sorry, gents men's parlor.
Yeah.
So these kind of things are there. Madam, I have done one research. I'm involved in some WhatsApp groups, and there I humbly congratulate you kind of messages are there. Very, very congratulations. Such messages are there. I have taken the screenshots, and there can be a wonderful paper on this. I'm talking about the teachers, those who are lecturers, who have done their net set or PhD. They are very careless, number one. Number two, they are very ignorant about all these things.
Yeah.
So yes, some workshop is necessary. But again, people attend the orientation refresher courses, but for just fun and certificate. That is the problem with our educational system. So onus is on all of us. We have to be more serious, more accountable.
Yes, sir. Because if gold rust, what will iron do?
Correct.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome, madam.
Sir, can you give just a word on what you call when we use these openly available in different sources, the infringement of Copyright Act, license, etc. When we pick up things and use it, of course, I know it's a vast topic, but just a word or few, sir, for it.
Yes, sir. Even if you look at my slides, you'll find that below my slide, that particular slide, in a small text box, I have inserted that URL of that particular image. So yes, there are issues related copyright. It can be termed as illegal, plagiarism, etc. And we teachers, when we share our content, we should never say that it is our own creation. So yes, copyright issues are there. Whenever we copy an image or copy anything from YouTube or Google or whatever website, we should give the citation even in a slide. When we write papers, definitely we have to do that. And this copyright issue has become more dangerous. Last month, we conducted an international e-conference. We received 54 papers, out of which nearly 10 papers have more than 70% plagiarism. Now, this is a very big challenge. Thanks to our university that has given us Urkund. I got it checked over there. Otherwise, somebody would have published those papers, and even the editor, the publisher would have been held responsible for that publication, plagiarized the publication, which is illegal activity, unlawful activity, and that's why we have to be very cautious even when we are dealing with Google, because URLs are there at the end of the day, and that should be shared, that should be cited, acknowledged. Thank you, sir.
That is why, sir, NAC is also insisting every year that every college should have one or two programs or some webinar or something like that on intellectual property rights.
Correct, sir. We conducted a webinar recently, LTIC 100th chapter. It was on research ethics. So here we can talk about intellectual property, plagiarism and all. Even paraphrasing or stealing an idea is plagiarism. So yeah, we have to awaken people against this menace. This is a menace. Lots of research is infected by plagiarism. There is nothing original at many places.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Then I request to Dr. Vaibhav Kanhe, sir, for a vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Vaibhav Sabni, sir, for very useful information. और जैसे कि पता चला है कि आपके घर में आपकी लड़की का स्वास्थ्य भी ठीक नहीं था, उसके बाद भी आपने इतना समय इसके लिए हमारे लिए निकाला, इसके लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। पूरी संस्था की तरफ से आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और प्रिंसिपल डॉक्टर राधा पांडे मैडम और कन्वेनर तथा ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी डॉक्टर राजीव तिवारी सर, डॉक्टर बहुरन सिंह पटेल सर, मिस्टर नरुल होंडा, मिस्टर आलोक मिश्रा, सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू ऑल पार्टिसिपेंट्स टू अटेंड दिस सेशन। थैंक यू ऑल।
सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद फिर एक बार। थैंक यू, सी यू। जी
Just a token of gratitude, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
We are honored, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for invitation, for this love, for this honor, for the respect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir, for a wonderful lecture.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, I wish all good health for your daughters, sir.
Thank you.
It was very disheartening to know that despite of that negative situation, still you were there for us. And I pray that God may heal both the daughters, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It was really very informative. Very soon we will be welcoming you for a workshop or for a webinar at our place, sir.
Sure,
I'm
madam.
from Jabalpur Government Science College, Department of English. Thank you, sir. It was
I'll be there.
nice hearing you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. सबका आभार। इस प्रकार यह कार्यक्रम इस कार्यक्रम की समाप्ति यहीं पर होती है। सबको सबका पुनः आभार। पुनः कल इसी समय मिलेंगे। तब तक शुभ दिवस।
धन्यवाद।
सबको भी धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद।